Well, good Saturday morning to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy, bringing you an ICP update. Looks like we might have found a bottom, but we're going to get into the charts. We'll figure that out. Hopefully, we've had a lot of downsides since that big pump. It would be nice to get a little upside here, wouldn't it? Well, we'll break it all down in the charts, figure out exactly what's going on today. Not to get you through the weekend and the next part of next week, but we'll keep doing regular updates because this community is absolutely amazing. But I am a world champion rodeo cowboy in the team roping and mounted shooting events. And I'm bringing you the strategies and the discipline that I've used to achieve those world titles because they don't just give them out. And I'm going to bring them right here to the crypto desk. We're going to change them up just a little bit. And if you stick with me long enough, I'm going to make all of y'all world champion crypto traders. So go ahead and like, subscribe, tap that bell notification. You're not going to want to miss out on a single episode. We'll start off with the crypto fear and greed index, just like we do every single video. This measures market sentiment. It tells us if people are scared or if they're greedy, what's going on. We're still in fear. We were up to 24 yesterday. Now we've pulled back to about 22. Had a pretty good dump yesterday, so it's not surprising. But this measures market sentiment. And every time we drop into fear, I make a little small spot purchase. When we drop into extreme fear, I buy a little more. It's a strategy that's worked well for me. And then when we get into greed, I can sell it off. You can see I've got a BitUnex exchange pulled up. I don't know why these Aster and Hype things are in here. Maybe they were airdrops from BitUnex. But I've been dollar cost averaging into Sol and Ethereum. And I'm down about 5 and 8% on those. Bitcoin was in profit 2 days ago. We're down about 1%. But these take a little time to materialize. I'll keep up with them. I'll keep showing you what they do. If you need a good exchange to trade on, BitUnex is a great one. I do believe you get a deposit on your first, or a bonus on your first deposit. And you also get a little better trading fee. So go ahead and check that out. You'll find a link to that in my description. Moving on to altcoin season. It's not altcoin season yet. And it's got a long way to go before it gets there. When Bitcoin goes up, alts go up. When Bitcoin goes down, alts absolutely tank. The closer we are to Bitcoin season. We really need to get up above this blue shaded area and get into these oranges before we see any kind of altcoin action. But there have been a couple that popped off. I noticed Terra Luna popped off yesterday, had a good run. Maybe ICP's getting ready for that. And we'll pull up a liquidation heat map, and that'll kind of give us an idea before we get into the charts. This measures where our liquidation points are when you're trading. So market makers use this to move the charts. They don't really care about TA. That's the big problem, and that's why everything's so manipulated. They don't worry about it. They just go after liquidation in heavy pockets. So right now, everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. And you can see cumulatively, we've got about $4.2 million worth of short trades to liquidate and only about $900 million worth of long trades. So the imbalance is clearly to the top. You can see there's a lot of brighter liquidity piling up. I really do think it's maybe ready for a run, but we'll get into the charts. We'll figure that out. That's a weekly chart. We're going to start off with the hourly, and then we'll work up since it's relevant to what's going on today. I do post all these charts in the crypto school. You'll find a link to that in my description. Lineup of great coaches. You have direct access to me. I do provide signals when there's an opportunity. We did some last week. Haven't done a lot this week. We tried to take a long on Bitcoin. Didn't work out. Not a big deal. But you can see we've lost that 50 simple moving average, the yellow and white lines, back during the pullback that we've had over the past couple of days. But now we're trying to reclaim it. Everything kind of found a bottom. We went down to our extension, so that tells me that we've got to make a move up before we have much more downside. And I think that's what we're doing right here. So the question begs, we're currently getting retested off that 50 simple moving average right now. That takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support and resistance. Getting rejected off of it right now, and we have for a while, actually a good while. As far as you can see on this chart, every time we touch it, we reject. But we're down in this extension retracement, so maybe we come up. Maybe we cross these, hit 363 to 369, and then make some kind of move from there. If we do lose this, I think you're headed down to about 286. But if we can get a run here, guys, 440 to 424 would be your next targets. 478 to 516 would be after that. We're going to move out to a 4-hour. It's going to give us an idea of what's going on with the bottoming out here. And you can see we lost the 4-hour retracement zone, but the extension's way down at like 80 cents. The only thing I can figure is if we lose this area right about here, right around 280 like I talked about, We're headed down to fill out this wick, and that's probably going to come in around $2.20 to $2. Market makers like to fill out about 50% of those wicks, and we haven't done it yet. So that makes me wonder. We are climbing back up to retest these 4-hour 50 moving averages and the 4-hour 200. If we can get above those, 431 to 550 would be your next targets. Then we have an opportunity to really work up 774 to 854, and then we start worrying about a lower high. If we can put in a higher high, 1174 to $14 would be your next targets. Moving out to the daily, you can see we've stayed in that daily retracement zone. That's kind of why I think we might want to run up here. But like I said, if we don't, I think you come down to about $2.20 to $2 and then work on a bounce from there. If we can get above these 50 simple moving and the smooth moving average on the daily, I flip bullish. The 50 moving average on the daily works as a bullish or a bearish sentiment for me. So when we're below, I'm looking for shorts. When we're above, I'm looking for longs. If we can get above this, get above the 200 simple moving average, smooth moving average, 675 to 810 would be your next targets. And like I said, you worry about a lower high there. If Bitcoin puts in a lower high, I feel like ICP is probably not going to run either. But if we do, $12 to $14.78 would be your next targets. I just worry about this wick, and when we fill it out, it kind of wants to run up here. If we pull up the RSIs just to get a better idea, we are curling up, but we have more opportunity to go the downside here. There is a little bullish divergence coming in. So it has me kind of optimistic that this might be the bottom, but time will tell. We'll take this day to day. I do these almost every day. So as soon as we figure out exactly what's going on, you'll be the first to know. Looking at the weekly chart, you can see we're in that weekly retracement zone right now. We wicked below it, but we found support right on that 786. That's a good sign. We could range in here for a while on into January to about 491. That could happen, or we could just go ahead and break out, get over these 50 simple moving and smooth moving averages, go to 668 to 818. On up to 1211 to 1491. On a macro chart, that's still a lower high, so that may be something we could do. We could possibly double top here at $23 as well. So I feel like there's a run left in the tank. And I feel like I've seen that on a lot of coins, that there's little upside left in them. The question is how far and for how long. Nobody really knows what's going on here. There's a lot of uncertainty. I feel like we're probably in a bear market. But altcoins have just shown some hope here lately. So that has me kind of interested and honestly kind of confused. So I'm going to dig into some smart money this weekend. I'm going to figure out what the wallets are doing, what smart money the whales are doing, and let's see if we can't figure out something on chain. I meant to do like some kind of macro update later this afternoon, see if we can't figure out exactly what's going on and where the money's moving. If we can figure out where the money's moving, we can figure out what's going to happen next. But I'm going to get started in the spur shop back here. I've got a lot of spurs to build today. I might show you guys what I'm doing later on today. That might be an interesting video. But I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tap that bell notification, and leave us a comment. You'll get notifications, and the comments help the YouTube algorithm, and I really enjoy hearing from you people. But I'll talk to you guys later this afternoon. Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you down the road.